Can you believe that we're almost at the end of Season 2 of Reacher? I definitely can't. It's flown by. I think it's because we got 3 episodes in the first week that it was released, so the amount of time that it's on for is significantly shorter when compared to other shows. But hey. With the most recent episode, episode 6, concluding in a way where it very much looked as though Russo had met his demise after following orders from Reacher and being true to his word. This is something that I feel has dictated the tone of what the next couple of episodes are going to be like. So with the show now drifting off into a different direction from the source material, I thought I'd give my theories and predictions on the next episode of Reacher and what I feel is going to happen. So let's get into it. Here is Reacher Season 2 Episode 7 Theories Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. What Russo's death means. Russo's death was definitely the standout moment of the previous episode, and I think it's going to have a larger effect on what it is that we're going to be seeing unfolding in the next 2 episodes. Russo's death was a dark edge to the show, and one that drifted away from the source material, which was an interesting choice for the show to make, especially considering that the first season stuck by it quite tightly. I feel Reacher will feel the weight of Russo's death because he was the one that tasked him to protect Janie. This ties into the overall theme of the season, which is death following Reacher due to his own actions. He already feels the weight of the death of Franz, Orozco, and Sanchez, and I feel this season could have a dark ending in sight. With only 4 of the 1/10 remaining, which are Dixon, Neely, Swan, and O'Donnell, I feel we could see Reacher lose those that are closest to him. Maybe not Neely because she's a long-time favourite, but Swan, Dixon, and O'Donnell is definitely a possibility for sure. This would make Reacher feel the ultimate weight of the responsibility for what happened to them, due to him selecting them to be the people that worked alongside him. This could cause him to go off on his own at the end and remind him of why he chooses to stay on his own, because that way he doesn't get people into trouble, doesn't form connections, and doesn't feel the weight of loss. With the dark tone that this season has taken compared to the first, it wouldn't surprise me if Russo's death is something which is laying down the foundations of a bleak ending for Reacher Season 2. And not the happy one that we got at the end of Season 1. They wouldn't have dared to attempt to kill off Finlay or Roscoe in Season 1, but it feels like it's possible for them to do that to the people closest to Reacher this time round. It's something that I would respect if the show decided to do it, because it would leave us with our mouths wide open and truly feeling for Reacher. Something which I feel the show actually needs to do after giving us a somewhat two-dimensional version of Reacher when compared to the first. Will Swan be alive? The mystery around Swan has been a main focus for the past couple of episodes. We didn't know if he was dead, alive, corrupt, or still on the side of the 1/10th. Within episode 6, we found out that Swan was very much still on the side of the 1/10th, as was confirmed when Marlowe Burns said that he would never side with Langston. However, with there being proof of him signing off on things which relied on retina scans, that meant that he was most probably still alive, but just being held hostage. Personally, I don't think Swan's going to be alive for much longer. I think following what happened in episode 6, where Langston was on the cusp of almost being killed by Reacher, I feel Langston is most probably now going to try and hit Reacher where it hurts. And that will be by killing somebody that he cares about, which will be Swan. I think Langston will do this because he knows that Reacher is getting close to him, and by doing it, he'll hope to get Reacher to slow down his approach and to back off slightly, as he hopes to send him into some kind of mental breakdown, due to 4 of his closest friends being killed. However, I think it would do the opposite to Reacher and motivate him even more to get the revenge that he desires. So I feel Swan's time is definitely numbered and he won't make it out alive. Reacher's flashback and its connection. One thing that we're seeing being developed more as the season's been going on is the flashback that's taken the focus. Unlike last season, where it was all about Reacher's time at home with his family and him becoming the very person that we saw in the present day, this one has been all about his time with the 1/10th unit in the military and the operation that he's been working on. Within episode 6, we saw that Fields called off the drug bust that Reacher and the unit were going to be doing, because he mentioned that the colonel was set to be getting a promotion that he'd waited so much time for. And Fields didn't want the bust happening around that time, as it would make the colonel look incompetent, as it would have meant that he would have been letting that happen whilst on his watch. This was kind of alluding to the fact that it seemed like Reacher was going to be going ahead and doing it anyway, even though he was told by his superior that he needed to stop. We also heard Dixon say that the last time that they worked together, it ended messy. So I feel we're definitely going to be seeing how that's going to be unfolding and why it ended so badly. I think Fields could potentially be corrupt. This whole season had a focus put on Russo being corrupt and all of the people that work at New Age being corrupt too, because they used to work in the same precinct when they were on the force. So I feel we're going to be seeing some kind of corruption being present with Fields. But because Reacher may go along with his plan of continuing the bust and going against Fields' orders, Fields may get to stay in the military and go undetected, whilst Reacher and the rest of the 110th could get discharged as was threatened, hence the messy nature of it. There was this photo which has been used for the promo, so I wonder if this could be from that scene where Reacher is getting in trouble because he went against the orders. Or another theory is that I feel we could see some harm come to Fields due to Reacher's actions. Maybe he ends up dying and that's where the responsibility for deaths on Reacher's shoulders could come from, as it would also tie into the fact that Reacher feels responsible for the 110th, so we may end up getting that revealed to us in the next episode or in the finale. Will anything happen with AM? AM is a character that I've grown particularly tired of in the more recent episodes, because I feel his story has just dragged on a bit now. If they're setting him up to be some master villain in Season 3, then fair, but I somehow feel that that's not going to be the case. We've only really had a couple of minutes here and there with him where he kills somebody who gets in his way from going to where he needs to get to, and it's kind of like, we get it now. We know what he can do. So will anything different happen with him this time round? Well, I hope so. I don't feel we'll see much of him, which kind of sticks to the theme that we've had, but I think at the end of episode 7 we'll see him finally make it to New Age, so that he can get the chips as part of Project Little Wing, where he'll need to learn how to use them so he can utilize the missiles for the purpose of selling them. This is where I feel we'll end up seeing the climax occur and the final battle between Reacher and the New Age technology folks, just like what happened at the end of Season 1 last time round in the warehouse. What's particularly interesting about AM, and something that hasn't really been delved into that much, is the fact that he's almost like the Venom to Reacher's Spider-Man. He's the dark side of Reacher. They're very similar in the fact that they seem to be trained ruthless killers, but AM acts without thinking of consequences and shows no signs of caring about the people that are around him. We heard a couple of episodes back that money is the only thing that motivates AM, so when the both of them do eventually come face to face, it will definitely be interesting to see who ends up coming out on top out of the both of them. It will probably be Reacher's toughest fight to date, and one that I'm interested in seeing for sure, but I don't think that will happen until the season finale. As you can see, there are so many different directions that the next episode could go in, but I feel for sure that Reacher is most probably going to be feeling responsible for the death of another person, Russo, and that will be impacting his mindset even more. I also feel we'll see corruption taking more of a main focus and the dark edge that the show is allowing to seep in also getting more of a stronghold. Bring on the next episode. So, there you have it, Reacher Season 2 Episode 7 Theories Explained. If you want to see more videos on Reacher Season 2, then click on the card in the top corner, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen in Episode 7? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.